It's Wednesday night. It's May 31st, 2023. Hope everybody had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. I know the Kicking Out podcast, we enjoyed watching Double or Nothing. We're going to be breaking down, giving our thoughts on that pay-per-view, and of course, reviewing tonight's AEW Dynamite, which took place in San Diego, California. I'm Tanner Lee. Co-host Austin Shepard's here in the house. Our other co-host Paul Zartman will be coming and joining us momentarily. Shep, how's it going besides the fact that you don't have gold above your head tonight?
Either do you.
You're right, I don't.
It might be swimming in Lake Manitou right now, for all I know.
It could be swimming. It's not at my house, but I am the new KOP Predictions champion by a score of 42 27 Shep and 25 by Paul. Maybe that's why Paul hasn't joined us yet tonight.
I mean, his score's so low, he shouldn't even get an opportunity to win it back.
Do I give him a shot at Forbidden Door?
I don't know. Actually, if you would have saw my score from Forbidden Door last year, you wouldn't want to. You just want to take me on.
That's true. But no, it was an interesting pay-per-view. What were your overall thoughts of the pay-per-view? I thought in particular it was probably the second worst pay-per-view AEW's put on behind 2020 All Out. I don't think it'll ever get worse than that one. If you remember, that one was the one that Matt Hardy got hurt and they kept going and just one thing after another that night.
Yeah.
With that said, I didn't think it was an awful pay-per-view. It was just I hold AEW pay-per-views in that highest standard, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all knew going in the Four Pillars match, MJF is not gonna drop that belt.
Right.
Right off the bat. That match was okay. The Christian Cage Warlord match was okay. The buy-in match of the Hardys with Hook against the Guns and Ethan Page, man, Jeff looked awful.
They said that was a planned spot, that whole botch of him twisting faith and going up on. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I will try to. I'll try to give him some slack because it was the first match he's had in a year, but that was rough to watch.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. There was some entertaining spots. There's some entertaining matches, but yeah, overall. No, we haven't even started talking about hockey yet.
Yeah. As Major said, it was his first match after a long time. It was his longest break away from professional wrestling since he broke in the 90s.
Yeah,
but
so I mean,
I will give him some slack. But
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
I thought the Blackjack Battle Royale was really fun, especially with the exchange with Orange and Swerve at the end. I really liked the Pillars match. I thought that was a match of the night, in my opinion. I thought all guys looked really good, especially Sam Guevara. I thought he came out of the night looking pretty good. And I enjoyed the Anarchy and the Arena match, but how could you not be entertained by that? That's just off-the-wall entertainment there.
Yeah, it's just a match full of spots.
Major wants to know our opinions on the Adam Cole match, and I was going to bring that up next, so that's perfect timing.
And that led off the pay-per-view.
Right after the Battle Royal, yeah.
Yeah, so
I didn't like it. It just didn't click for me. I don't know.
I don't picture let alone Adam Cole. I don't picture Chris Jericho, and I know we've had matches with Nick Gage and all that. I just don't picture him as I'm going to say a hardcore wrestler. So when he decides to do these matches, it just doesn't fit him. I'm used to the Chris Jericho, the Lionheart Chris Jericho, where he was an in-ring performer and did it that way. And then when he did the New Japan stint, where he got a little bit of hardcore in there, but he really took it in the ring. So that's the fan of Chris Jericho I am. When he does these, yeah.
I understand from a storyline perspective why they made this an unsanctioned match, but I just don't think it fit for this show, have an unsanctioned match when you're already having an anarchy in the arena, anything goes type match.
Yeah,
I don't think they both fit. I don't think they both fit on the card.
Yeah.
But I thought they made up for it tonight, in my opinion. And I know there's people out there that did like that match the other night, and not ripping anybody for that. I mean, everybody's going to like what they like. The Wardlow Christian Cage match, I enjoyed. Like you said, it was okay. I enjoyed the Wardlow Swanton bomb. I thought that's pretty impressive for a big guy. I mean, we knew he could do it, but to do it off a ladder onto a table, pretty impressive.
Would you do that?
Oh, God, I can't even do a flip off the diving board.
Okay.
I mean, I could get myself to flip off a ladder, but
if somebody, let's throw out a realistic amount here. If somebody gave you $5,000, would you try it?
I probably would try it.
Knowing that there's just tables and a very thin mat underneath, right?
But and knowing that probably half that 5,000 is going to go towards a hospital bill. But I thought the FTR Lethal Jarrett match was fun. It had a lot of run-ins, but I thought it fit that match. Karen Jarrett, man. Woo, guitar shot on Aubrey.
You couldn't give that match a serious professional wrestling match, and here's the reason why, is because if you're going to do a serious professional wrestling match, FTR versus Lethal and Jarrett doesn't mesh well. So to have the side action, I think, made the match a little bit better. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of, like, leave Karen Jarrett out of it. I know she showed up the other week and then she's here now.
She's a heat magnet.
Yeah, but I don't care for her. They don't need her.
They don't need her. You're right.
They don't need her. Now, yeah. What he said, you don't touch Aubrey.
No, that was a good guitar shot too.
Yeah, you don't mess with Aubrey.
That's a way to get heat amongst the fan base. But I thought the women's matches, Hayter and Storm, I understand. Jamie Hayter's legit injured, so she couldn't do a proper match. So that's why they had to go that route to get the title off of her. I thought Taya and Jade was pretty good.
They shit the bed there. I understand bringing Statlander back, and
right.
I enjoy that.
Right.
But you don't build a feud like they did with Tyra, and then that's how you get the belt off of her. Yeah, I know it cost me freaking stupid belt back then. It used to be right up here. Mm-hmm. Women's matches did, but yeah, I didn't like that. Not that I don't like the belt on her.
Right.
I didn't like the way they did it.
I wish it would have been more. I get bringing her back, for the pop and everything. The surprise element. It was kind of like a WrestleMania 9 type thing. Remember when Hogan beat Yokozuna after Brett, blah, 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 blah. But I kind of wish it was more of a build with Statlander and Jade there, especially after Jade went 60-0. But it sounds like Jade's going to take some time off. We'll see her back by All In, I'm sure. And Hayter hopefully is back by All In, because I think she'll get right back in the title picture, because that's kind of why they're building that story too. I mean, she's from England, so that'd be huge for her.
All right, real quick, because it's getting warm.
Oh yes, what are we drinking tonight's show?
So last week we did a high noon review.
Yes.
So our local lovely liquor store had a stock mint of the goat, the pineapple high noon, and I bought them out. The lady even made a comment to me like, "You're taking all these." I was like, "Do you have more in the back?" She goes, "Let me look." She had 1 4-pack in the back. I was like, "I'll take it." She goes, "Well, there's none left for anybody else." I said, "I don't care.
I don't care. So, I got money."
It's the pineapple high noon.
What a sound!
Yeah, it is. It kind of that's Daddy Magic saying the nipples hard. Yeah, I could cut through this computer screen. Your dog liked it too. But yeah, no, literally, I've talked about this before. This is going to get a really high score. 9.8 out of 10.
That's pretty high.
Pineapple High Noon's the best. It is a seltzer, but it's really vodka and fruit juice, and they put a little carbonation in it. So it technically is a seltzer. Like Truly's, White Claws, those stuff are for the sorority girls. Let them go. Literally. Now, once there's two brands that we're waiting on Indiana to get. And I know this is not a drinking liquor podcast.
It's all right.
Happy Dad seltzers, okay, and Good Boys, which is endorsed by my all-time idol, John Daly. Once those are released in the state of Indiana, I will have them on the podcast. Those are supposed to be amazing. But as of right now, we are drinking the GOAT, and then we're going to chug this real quick, and then we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled television show. But anyways, I had this sitting super ice cold in the freezer real quick. I wanted to drink before it got warm. 9.8?
9.8.
9.8.
9.8.
Leaving room just in case, because Happy Dads and Good Boys are supposed to be that damn good. I'm leaving room for that 9.9.
Little wiggle room there. Little wiggle room. So, we had another comment here. Let's see. I lost. Oh, there it is. Lost my spot. Majin back to the TBS championship. He said that's just it. It worked because Jade got more and more cocky the longer the street went. She called plenty of people out the longer it got. She called out anyone else after being Taya, and it cost her precious title. Yeah, she did get pretty cocky.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to see her in the main title picture. But
I think I've been saying that
you have for a while.
4 pay-per-views ago.
But
she's got the look. They got to be working with her.
What? So, and we'll get more into this later. You know, the title of our podcast tonight, CM Punk is back. And I think even though it's probably not likely, I think we could agree that the two biggest matches AEW could do at All In would be either Punk against Omega or Punk FTR against the Bucks in Omega. What would you say is the biggest match AEW could do on the women's side for All In?
Ooh.
I mean, is Hayter in the mix there because of how over she is, and especially in England?
Yeah. You would have to. I mean, she's from England, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so Saraya.
Right. So
you could think that could be involved at some point. Yeah, I guess you got to have those two involved. You know, Toni Storm is she Australian or New Zealand?
Yeah.
Just by the accent, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know how you could have a Saraya versus Hayter, but for the belt, that would be some type of odd transfer. But I mean, that would be the best case scenario.
Major brings up a good point. You have to have the end to the Elite BCC feud first before doing anything with CM FTR. I think we'll see an end at Blood and Guts. I just don't know when they're going to do the Blood and Guts match.
But we got till August, right?
Yeah, August 27th, I believe.
Yeah. We have till August. And
or you could do Outcast original. Because I've been saying for a long time, I think the women's need a Blood and Guts match.
Well, you can do both.
You could do both. Yeah.
You could have a women's. You could have a women's and a men's.
Yeah, and make the whole show.
And that there's perfectly fine.
Because when you do Blood and Guts, if you remember correctly, you have to have an arena that can have 2 rings, 2 cages.
Yeah.
Special setup. So I'm sure they already got it planned. They just haven't announced anything yet. So
wait a minute. AEW doesn't do long time storytelling. What are you talking about? That's what all the Twitter keyboard.
Oh yeah, the keyboard warriors. That's what they say.
Yeah,
that's what they say. But I still think the biggest match AEW could do, but they'd have to on a women's side, but they have to take their time to build it. Would still be Britt against Jade.
Yeah, but you would have to have a you'd have to have a 30 to 45 day build.
Right. And maybe even a title in there too.
I mean, when I say 30-day build, that's only 4 episodes of Dynamite, because we're gonna promote the 2 top females on Dynamite. That's only 4 episodes. So, throw 45 days in there, give them 6 episodes minimum.
Yeah.
For them to do that, and you're gonna have a tag match, a trios match, in the meantime, in those 6 or 7 episodes that they need to build it. But to have that type of match, to promote that, to get that on that level that you're talking about, yeah, minimum 5-6 episodes.
Major brings up another good point. He said, but would you want to oversaturate the card like that? We saw what happened with the Unsanctioned match and Anarchy in the Arena just this past show.
No,
good point.
It's a good point, but the Black and Yellow brand, when they used to be Black and Yellow brand, now they're multicolored rainbow brand.
NXT.
You said it, not me.
I'll say it.
They used to do their war games,
mm-hmm.
and they'd have a war games men and female, and I thought it worked out well.
Yeah.
You lead the show off with one, and you finish the show off with one. You have 5 or 6 matches in the middle, and it works.
Yeah.
So if you do it correctly, you could do it. You wouldn't oversaturate it with 2 blood and guts, matches there. So it can be done.
Yeah, it's that's the key, doing it correctly. So, well, hopefully Paul, our other co-host, will be joining us soon. But we're going to go in and talk about tonight's Dynamite, which kicked off with the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Lucha Bros and Bandito. I know the Death Triangle is a fun trios, but I think I'm starting to like this trios more of Lucha Bros and Bandito than I do the Lucha Bros and Pac.
Yeah, I mean, Pac is Pac.
Haven't seen him in a while.
He's MIA. I don't think he's hurt, right?
I haven't read anything that he's hurt. Last time we saw him was the Best of 7 match series. Maybe we see him on Collision. Maybe he's one of those stars that'll be making a return on Collision.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I mean, if you saw the ad tonight had Thunder, Andrade, Miro, Scorpio Sky. I might be missing another. So people we haven't seen in a while. But anyways, tonight this was a fun opener. You kind of got it. No matter what your pro wrestling style is, you kind of got it here. If you like the hard hitters, you had the BCC. If you like the high flyers, you had the Lucha Bros and Bandito. Crowd was really hot, and kudos to the crowd tonight, by the way. San Diego crowd was hot tonight. I think anything would have been hot compared to that Vegas crowd. That's what was something I meant to bring up when we were talking about Double or Nothing. That crowd was bad, and I just think it's because they've oversaturated the Vegas market the last few years.
San Diego is way better, but a lot of their camera angles, especially from the corner, there was a lot of empty seats.
There was.
There was a lot of empty seats. Now, there was pictures from Vegas that the arena looked really full, and I don't listen to a lot of Pat McAfee, even though I used to be a huge fan, still a huge fan, whatever. I just don't have time to listen to his stuff. He came out and I don't know why he would bring up an AEW pay-per-view just because of his affiliation with Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
But he brought it up, and I don't know if it was just to trash him, to put him down a little bit, but wow. There we go. So, wait.
Paul is here.
Well, I mean, it's Paul.
He's present on the screen. We haven't heard him yet.
Yeah, okay, I'm here.
There he is.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't see Pat McAfee just dogging another company, because Pat McAfee is one of those guys where he loves everybody. Everybody should, but for him to say it was, 3/4 empty?
Yeah, that was false.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where that came from. Maybe since he's still getting a paycheck from Stanford, they say, hey, why don't you drop a little bomb on your show that has, 2 million followers or whatever the heck it is. So, Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
made Pat look like an idiot, and like I said, I'm one of the biggest Pat McAfee fans in the world. I mean, and the reason being, the guy came up and played golf in Rochester, Indiana, to celebrate the life of a fallen soldier here with me, and I was personally involved. And like I said, Pat's $1 million, so it was kind of a weird comment from Pat. That's all I'm saying.
Major here says, do you guys think Wheeler needs to move on from the seatbelt? He's in a group of tough guys, and they all have impact finishes except Wheeler. And I'm glad you brought up Wheeler because I thought Wheeler Yuta came out looking out of Double or Nothing, looking good. I mean, he was the one who pinned Kenny Omega, and then tonight he picks up the win with the pinfall.
Did you notice? On commentary, that's all he talked about was Wheeler. How Daniel Bryan has been working with him, and it's Wheeler.
Daniel's pushing him, man. He's pushing hard.
So, like, it almost kind of got shoved down your throat tonight, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought he did that in the press conference, the scrum the other night too. But that's a good thing about Danielson, though. That's why I think when his contract's up with AEW, he'll re-sign. And maybe it's not as busy schedule as he has now, but I think he just loves putting over younger talent and grooming the future. And that's what they're doing with Wheeler. I mean, I sent you guys right after we got off the pod last week that tweet that somebody took in the arena last week in Vegas on the Dynamite show, and Moxley and Danielson were slapping Wheeler around after the match. But then see him get the pinfall both Sunday and tonight. So Wheeler's starting to get that big push.
Yeah, and of course, Danielson commented on commentary of why they were slapping him around. They didn't like his performance Wednesday night, so they slap him around to, get their point across to toughen up, do better.
Yeah, Major said, why doesn't Danielson give him the I can never pronounce the word, so I say flying knee. I mean, he's essentially his mentor. It would make sense to pass that on. I think he did use that tonight, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he used to get the win tonight, I think. Or he hit it during the match at one point tonight. So, but no, fun opening bout. Blackpool Combat Club, of course, got the win. Paul, since you just joined us, what were your thoughts on Double or Nothing? What'd you like? What'd you not like?
I thought it was a good show. Could have done without the unsanctioned match, honestly. It was a good match, don't get me wrong. It seemed poorly placed, and it's not what I think of when I think of an unsanctioned match. It was just more of a hardcore match, in my opinion.
Yeah, we were talking. It was weird, not necessarily weird placement to really open the show, but it was more didn't fit since you already had Anarchy in the arena. It's kind of like two of the same match.
Exactly, and I think if it would have...
And JR got pissed during the match.
Yeah, I think if the Anarchy in the arena match wouldn't have happened, this would have been your main event, and you would have seen a lot more from these two than they were able to do because of you can't destroy the ring, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it was poorly placed, I'll just say that.
Did you guys see why JR was so pissed during that match? And because I heard it live when we were watching the other night, and he just yelled "stupid." I'm like, what's he yelling stupid about? Well, there's an angle. Somebody took a video on Twitter that was there when Cool and Ange got thrown into the commentary. He knocked over JR's drink onto the floor. So that's what JR yelled stupid at. He was like legit pissed. And they knocked his drink.
JR likes his vodka mule, so
yeah.
If it knocked it over, that'd make me mad too.
Yeah.
And you don't knock over JR's drink. He's a 50-year-old legend or 50-year veteran of the.
He was great. He was extra grumpy the other night.
Yes, he was.
I could take a little. I like a little JR with an edge.
It was good. It was good to hear him, grumpy again. It's been a while. He used to sit on commentary and be grumpy unless he got to say Stone Cold. So
That's true. We then saw the Elite shown backstage. Matt Jackson says the BCC brought the worst in them. Nick Jackson says one setback won't stop them. And then Hangman's interrupted by the Dark Order as they point out that Hangman's been with his new best friends. Hangman says Kenny Omega's hurt and out of the country, but he's not in Canada.
It only leaves one other place. He's not going to go to Mexico.
No.
It's happening soon.
Well, during another segment, I'll point out my thoughts.
It's happening soon. Hey, we got a comment here from Chris Smith.
This is going to be epic.
Brooks Koepka might be the best wrestler of our generation. That's a little shot at me, I think, for calling Brooks Koepka the best golfer of our generation.
Well,
just a little bit.
I mean, your generation, my generation are different, Tanner.
I know.
I mean, mine's got to be Tiger Woods.
Well, sure. So
you were a little younger. So.
Hey, my invite for Chris to join me on my Monday podcast is still open. So I'll leave it at that.
Maybe we can invite him to join this one.
Hey, whatever works with his schedule.
If we could get him to sit down and watch a 2-hour Dynamite and just get his off the cuff thoughts,
be very entertaining.
Especially if he's had a couple pops.
I'd like to see Brooks Koepka in the wrestling ring, to be honest. After he's taken a few swigs out of the PGA Championship trophy, the Wanamaker trophy.
He's ripped.
Chris says those live golfers do some wrestling, and he is ripped.
Those live golfers do whatever the Saudis tell them to do.
So does Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
I think the difference between the live golfers and Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon only has to come over there 2 times a year. The live golfers do whatever they say 365 days a year.
Majan says Marty McSorley is the best wrestler of our generation. Totally a legend.
He is. And he is. You know what? That was one of the first comments me and that dude agreed upon. So I appreciate that. Cheers to you. Marty McSorley is a stud. And even this, he's a hell of a storyteller.
That's always important. That's important in the wrestling business, telling stories, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you need to be able to do that.
Maybe Marty McSorley can work backstage AEW because sometimes they use a little help.
Sometimes. Next up, we got Tony Schiavone. Welcome Bullet Club Gold to the ring. Jay White. Finally, we got Jay White on the mic tonight. It only took a month and a half.
6 weeks, yeah. 2
months, whatever it is. I mean, one of the best guys on the stick in the industry. But he said they can agree Double or Nothing was an amazing night. He bets Ricky Starks is on top of the world after he eliminated both of them in the Battle Royal. But he reminds Starks that he's not the international champion as he lost, just like he did to him. Juice Robinson then asked FTR why they went to aid of Starks. Didn't make sense to him. They're not friends with Starks. He's got no friends. Then FTR came out, and we got a little exchange between them. And then Juice Robinson hit your boy Dak Shep with some quarters. Upset the head.
Quarters right to the chin, too.
Yeah, right to the chin. Got a little brawl between them. Ricky Starks came out to make the save, and Ricky challenges Jay White to a one-on-one match Dynamite next week.
I like that. He said we're going to end it, so it should be the end of that feud. But I think Bullet Club Gold and FTR could steal any show on any card in any promotion around this wonderful world we live in.
Yep.
I am thoroughly entertained by Juice Robinson. I think that dude is hilarious. What he did to Tony today, like rubbing his comb over and stuff, and Jay White wanted his arm around him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that, man, is it makes me chuckle. It makes me think like, all right, these guys are pretty good dudes, and I want to listen to more of them. I want to see more of them. So I would love an FTR and Bullet Club Gold is what they're calling them now.
Yep.
Feud, and I think those guys could have some tremendous matches.
Well, I think that's what we're gonna get. I don't know when. Maybe Forbidden Door.
The only thing with Forbidden Door, I kind of want to see champion versus champion.
Bang Bang Gang. That's what they call themselves too.
Yeah.
It's because they have to use the gun.
The guns instead of the too sweet. Yeah.
Which are we gonna get in trouble for that?
Cease and desist.
Send the letter over. We'll frame it.
Yeah.
And put it.
I'll put it on my wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll make 2 copies of it, so each of us has our own copy of it, and hang it up.
There we go.
Well, hopefully we all get tagged in it, so we all get served papers. Not the first time I've been served papers. By the way, I'm wearing that shirt tonight.
Perfect. Very fitting.
I doubt she's watching this. Serve me fucking papers again. Do it. Go ahead. Anyway,
there it is. There it is.
Explicit for the night. All right, got it out of the way. I lost my train of thought. Bullet Club Gold. I still think they need to add another member or two. Who would be?
I think it's coming.
Who would be intriguing additions that you guys would like to see added? I got an off the wall one.
Jacob Fatu.
He would be a great one.
Or, and I'm gonna butcher his name. Is it Tamba Tong, who just lost a belt in New Japan?
Tamatanga.
That's what
he's been rumored for Connecticut for a while, but they haven't hired anybody for months.
Well, he's a third cousin once removed from Roman, so
Fatu's in the bloodline. Yeah. So,
I think they need to add one of those guys, or one of your long shots is, and we don't know what the hell they're doing nowadays. Is the Good Brothers?
Yeah. Well, they're AJ's back, so I don't know. I don't tune into Friday nights on WWE, so I don't know what they're doing. But I was thinking within AEW, here's kind of my off the wall one, and we'll talk about this guy later. But I want to see Jungle Boy Jack Perry turn heel. I think he could be a good addition to that group.
No, I don't see. I just can't see.
Let it marinate. Thinking about it, let it marinate.
I can't see the long-haired curly dude wearing a Bullet Club shirt. No,
works for Jews.
Juice Juice to me is way more entertaining right now than Jungle Boy.
Oh, he's really good on the stick too,
yes.
And the way he yells Ricky with that high pitched voice. Yeah. No, I'm glad they're starting to feature these guys. Like, I was a little mad they were in that battle royale, but it makes sense after seeing what happened tonight, storyline and everything. I get it. So I get it. We then got what I thought was a really good triple threat match tonight. There was no, a lot of the IWC liked this match. Big Bill versus Trent Beretta and Swerve Strickland. I'm with Shep right here. If you just take away the Big Bill name, I mean, this guy's getting better and better every week. He has the look. Twitter's starting to acknowledge it. People want to see him on the screen more. I saw one person saying he should be the next TNT champ tonight, which is interesting.
All right.
But yeah, I'm right there. I wish he'd go back to just being called Morrissey. But
call him John Morrissey.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. But the Big Bill is the dumbest name in professional wrestling right now. Maybe the dumbest gimmick. And there's a lot of dumb stuff out there right now. And I'm talking all professional wrestling.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And just wait, Shep. Soon he's going to be coming out with new music, and it's, it's Big Bill.
Oh, my God.
If that's the case, I quit. I'll never watch professional wrestling ever again in my life. That is dumb. The only thing that might be acceptable is if he's facing Paul White and Paul White's Waterboy gimmick, which was
Captain Osano shows no mercy.
Captain Osano. So if we get Big Bill versus Captain Osano, like maybe. Like, I can be somewhat entertained there, but other than that, it's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, Big Bill did not win the match tonight, but he didn't take the pinfall either. Towards the end of the match, we saw him slam Trent to the mat, but allowed Swerve to hit him with the Swerve Stomp, and Big Bill was taken out, and then Swerve got the pin on Trent. So, yeah, Swerve, man, I know I've said it on a podcast before, I think he's going to hold the heavyweight championship one. Not within the next year, but eventually in his future with the company. I think he's that good.
Yeah,
I can back that.
I can't argue that.
I think he'll be wearing gold when we do our podcast next week after we recap Dynamite. I think he beats Orange Cassidy next week.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep. I mean, he almost did on Sunday.
Want to put that title on the line for one match?
No.
Okay.
No,
good luck. He's a chicken.
I don't. Okay, Paul. All right. So I'm gonna defend it at Forbidden Door, and when I retain there, I'm defending it at All In, and when I retain, I'm gonna defend it the very next week at All Out. So.
Yeah, but think back to right after that Pretty Little Belt debuted, and it was just you and I was like, hey, I'll put it up against, this one-off match. And you're like, nah, it's okay. We'll wait. You win it. I'm like, hey, you want to put it up? No.
We got new lineage with the title now with when Shep joined the show last year. So, but good win by Swerve. I forgot to mention this before the match. Of course, I was kind of waiting to mention this because we'll probably talk about it for a little while here. Tony Khan was shown backstage tonight. We were talking about this in our text message earlier. What's the Collision announcement? We said, was it going to be return of CM Punk? Was it going to be brand split? Was it going to be the name of Collision? I honestly thought it was going to be the name of Collision or the brand split. But no, instead he says the first debut episode of Collision, June 17th from United Center, will feature CM Punk. But it wasn't the unanimous cheers from the crowd. It was about 50-50, 60-40.
It was. And I don't know. I've seen TK get excited. He did not look excited during this. I mean, even the pause, he was like, we'll feature CM Punk. And it was just like that. There was no excitement in his voice anymore. So I wonder if this is just let's let you write out your contract, come back, wrestle, and once your contract's up, that's that. But
well, it sounds like there's been a lot of papers signed to where Punk's got to make TV shows. AEW's pretty much covered their ass legally in case something happens again. Because let's be honest, with Punk, it's probably not a matter of if, it's probably a matter of when.
Oh, yeah.
But with all that said, he's still a huge draw for the company. They will sell a bunch of tickets. I think Wrestling Tix, was showing. I'll look it up. Can't remember where the United Center show was standing as far as tickets sold so far, but they will move more tickets now with tonight's announcement. But it was interesting with the mixed crowd reaction. But we got to remember also, they're in San Diego. That's Young Bucks territory. That's Young Buck country. So he's going to get the huge pop at Chicago. I think it'll be interesting after that, especially in Canada, because they're going to be in Canada for a good majority of July. What's the response for him there? That's going to be the telling point for me.
Canada has great wrestling fans.
They do.
And they recognize and follow it closely. So I think the pops in Canada for Punk will be just as good as they are as they will be in Chicago. Now, I think tonight's little comment was 100% just to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Because normally, remember when we got CM Punk the first time on Dynamite, it was a speculation, and they just let off the show with him. So nobody really knew. So they didn't need that name to sell tickets. Now they need that name to sell tickets because they're running United Center, which is what, 18,000, 20,000 people?
It's over 20,000, but this is what I wanted to look up. WrestleTix, which go follow them on Twitter if you don't already, at WrestleTix, because they do a great job with how many seats are open for shows, different things. Right now, the current setup for United Center is only at 8,698. They've distributed 6,921 tickets, so available tickets as of going into the night was 1,777. But I bet after tonight's announcement, those 1,777 will be bought, and they're going to open up more seats.
Yeah, they'll just keep going up and up.
Yep.
For the taller seats. So,
and I'll be curious what this does for ticket sales for the Canadian tour as well, because Collision wasn't selling well there yet either. Just interested what the Punk announcement does for that. So, but okay, with
all depends on what Punk says on the first Dynamite or the first Collision. Sorry.
And do you guys bring back his face or heel?
Face.
Heel.
Face.
They probably will, but I mean,
it's hard to bring him back as a
great.
heel in Chicago when he's going to get cheered no matter what.
MJF gets cheered in his hometown.
True.
The only reason we think MJF's a heel is because he threw vodka on a little young child. Or tequila, sorry.
He was throwing out F-bombs big time the other night in the match.
Yeah, his vocal screaming was...
He was going off the charts the other night, but I think they'll bring him back as a face. Who would you like to see him feud with or have a match with, do a program with? Rumor is Samoa Joe. That'd be fun.
Samoa Joe would be great because, I mean, I could go back and look, but I don't think they ever worked together in Stanford, did they?
I think it was just I think they met twice in ROH. That was it, I believe.
I think it goes all the way back to ROH.
So, the small little stint that Punk had in Impact wasn't with Joe, and then obviously Joe came back in NXT there, and Punk was main roster. Then Punk had left by then. So yeah, I mean,
Chris Smith, former PGA Tour player. If our listeners don't know that by now, he commented on YouTube. Canadian Golf Tour has a hard time selling tickets. Wrestling and hockey are the main sports, apparently. PGA Tour is back up there next week for the RBC Canadian Open.
Yep, Michael Block got another exemption.
Yeah, he got some hate on the internet this past week for some comments.
He shit the bed.
Yeah, kind of did, didn't he? I mean, it's one thing to be confident. That's fine. But the way he did it, not so much.
Came across arrogant instead of confident.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right, Paul?
Yes.
Yes. Speaking of a little arrogance and confidence, we got the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn came out. They're still going for the gold.
I love this spot. I love this spot.
Great.
The way they made it sound. Look, this guy has given the sport 30 years of his life. He's still in amazing shape. He deserves one more run. I freaking bought this hook, line, and sinker. I think it's great. Do I think they dethrone the House of Black? Not really. But if they did, I'm on board with it, and I love it.
And that was a fun match Sunday. We didn't even hit on that one.
Yeah. So no, I 100% like where they went with this little. What they get? A minute and a half there, probably. Mm-hmm. And we didn't see House of Black tonight, but I could buy into this feud for the next 3-4 weeks. So yeah, really, I thought it was really well put for a minute and a half segment with guys that had their opponents weren't on the show. They weren't on the show, but they came out and got a minute and a half.
Well, I think they can always bank on the Acclaim getting a big pop, especially if Caster's got a rap, which I don't know if his line will ever get better than it did Sunday. That was an all-timer. And they're going to move merch, Matthews. Too. Yeah, poor buddy. But, yeah, I just like how he doesn't blur the lines. I mean, he will talk about the WWE. He doesn't care.
And usually when he does, it's a he's buried Vince more than 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Caster's good. They're entertaining. That's why we watch this, to get entertained.
Yep.
We then had a interesting tag team.
It's not real?
It's real to me, damn it.
It's still real to us.
Yeah. That guy's made a fortune off that, hasn't he?
Yes.
We have the interesting tag team that just works and gels of Darby and Orange Cassidy versus the Gates of Agony, who are starting to get more and more TV time. But before we get to that match, we had Shivani welcome Don Callis and to Takeshita out to the ring. Talk about nuclear heat.
Whew.
Wow. Those guys got booed out of the building tonight.
This gave Dominic a run for his money.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Callis can barely talk. Did you guys notice he flipped off somebody in the crowd too? After his promo, he pointed out somebody that was giving him crap and flipped them off. But basically, he's saying that Takeshita is going to be the next Kenny Omega and even better. He even said Takeshita's better than Okada. That's not a mistake there. With Forbidden Door coming up, that wasn't a mistake.
And the way the camera dropped to show the Forbidden Door sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said, Callis said this is his new family, and they're going to cut the Elite out of all Elite Wrestling. I mean, good stuff on the mic. I mean, Callis is one of the best, if not the best heel in professional wrestling, in my opinion, right now.
Callis was under the tutelage of one Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's learned a lot, obviously, and bringing a lot of Paul Heyman-esque to AEW. So I thought it was great. I think Tanner called it probably 3-4 months ago about this with Okada and Omega. So
Takeshita and then Ibushi. If Ibushi shows up, then I got it right.
Yeah.
But Kenny did cut a little promo after the show the other night. Said he had 2 friends. Okada could be the other one, and Okada got mentioned tonight. So
the Golden Lovers is
Ibushi and
Ibushi
Kenny.
and Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, they got to even up the sides now. But I don't think Don and Takeshita are with BCC, but they're against the Elite, so they can join the BCC just for one night.
Yeah. And I think Callis kind of alluded to the fact that they're not with the BCC by saying, I'll build a new family.
Yep.
So,
no, good stuff. I mean, the company sees a lot of promise and potential in Takeshita. I mean, they're going to strap a rocket to the kid one of these days. So it's not like when Okada was in TNA and TNA didn't know what they had in them. Right. AEW realizes what they have in Takeshita.
So the big thing is now we got to get Takeshita on the mic. His promo today was in
Japanese, and then he said English, but it was a little hard to understand, and especially with the crowd noise.
And so we got to work on that if we're going to make him a top level star, which he has the overmost potential to be. He's got to talk. I feel looking at in Stanford days. I want to call him Shaky, but Sakamura. They call him Shaky Sakamura on Cornette's podcast, but he in the ring you can't complain about, but he barely can talk. He barely can speak English. Unfortunately, when you're in the States, you got to speak English.
Yeah.
So ran into the same problem with Asuka when she was or anytime she's been champion.
Yeah.
She tries at least, but it's
tough.
Still a learning curve for her even.
Yeah. So, hey, we've already talked about professional golf, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Rahm, he learned to speak English listening to rap music. So maybe
whatever it takes.
Maybe they need to start listening to some rap music. I don't know.
Majan says he doesn't have to yet. He's got a mouthpiece right there for him at the moment. If he breaks from Don, then he'll have to.
Yeah, but still, I mean, even when Brock had Paul, Brock would be very rare on the mic, but when he was on the mic, it was effective.
Oh, you mean he doesn't just say, acknowledge me, and then give the mic back?
Not Brock. Not Brock.
Not Brock.
But
Not Brock.
Yeah.
But yes, we got Darby and Orange Cassidy versus the Gates of Agony tonight. It's a fun little match here. The team of Darby and Orange, of course, got the win after Khan got hit by Stun Dog Millionaire, and then Code Red, and then Cassidy dove, taking taking out the other one.
guy.
Yep, while Darby hit the coffin drop. But after the ring, the Mogul Embassy surrounded, and I knew what was going to happen. We saw the numbers game, 3-on-2, and then we heard Sting's music. Shivani, it's Sting, which I just happened to be wearing a Sting shirt tonight. Good to see
He
Stinger
wasn't
back.
wearing that before the podcast.
Yes, I was. I've been wearing it all day.
Oh, okay.
It was good to see Sting back tonight.
You haven't seen him in what?
Wow. Yeah, he kind of got away. Yeah, it was kind of after Revolution. He kind of let Darby do this build for Double or Nothing, and
Well, he had that match. Him and Darby went over to Japan and had that match with the Great Muta, and I couldn't tell you who the Great Muta's partner was.
That guy.
That guy. That was the last time I think I seen him perform. Was watching that match. So, he's 62, 63 years old. Maybe he just need a little break, a little rest up.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's nice, when we have seen him here, for the most part of 2023, when we have seen him, he just walks out, has the bat in hand, and that's it. He did a promo against MJF at the start of the Four Pillars feud.
That's right.
And, that's all we need from Sting. We don't need to see Sting get in the ring and perform every single time he's there. He can just come out and go, look, I've got a bat. Everybody runs because they know it's Sting. And that's that.
It's interesting. Tony Khan said the other day he knows Sting's career's come to an end, but Sting still hasn't told him when the exact end's going to be. So
I bet we get 2 to 3 more matches, obviously on big cards with Sting, and maybe there's cinematic matches, which is okay. I would think they want him to perform in Europe one more time.
Yeah.
On that card, it's got to be a draw. I mean, we're trying to sell 90,000 seats, right?
Yep.
And they just added more too.
So, I mean, there's not a bigger name than Sting right now.
Major said we'll probably get Sting versus Darby with Darby retiring him.
I'm all for that. I've been saying that. I think we've all kind of said that we want to see that be the last match he has.
Could get Sting and Goldberg at Wembley.
No.
Shut up, Tam. What is your obsession with Goldberg?
Just to get those reactions out of both of you, and it works every time.
Kind of
every time.
It's just kind of like me going Big Bill.
Shep's gonna quit this podcast with talk about 2 Bills, Big Bill and Bill Goldberg. as his camera goes blank. We then saw Hook head out to the ring, but he's cut off by Jose, the assistant. Says they're taking their opportunity, and Preston Vance and Drilistico then jump Hook, but Jungle Boy Jack Perry heads out with a chair in hand to make the save. So something Paul alluded to a long time ago on the pod. He liked that little team of Jack and Hook, whereas they're not a tag team, but they got each other's back when needed.
Yep, and that's all I wanted to see out of these guys, Neither of them need to be in a tag team, but it's nice to see that, they're always going to go out and save each other when it needs to be.
Maybe Jack turns heel on Hook. Maybe that's his heel turn.
I kind of wondered that tonight watching.
I did too with the chair.
Hook with the chair, and he kind of started to bring it up. I was like, no.
But see, now with Hook, now that Jade has a loss, Hook's their undefeated kind of special attraction. So we'll see how that plays out, even though he never defends the FTW championship.
Well, he does. It's just never televised.
That's true. Or if it is on Rampage. And except Rampage has a heck of a card coming up Friday night. Did you guys see that card?
Yes.
4 title defenses, including the AAA title, Drilistico, Vikingo, and Commander. I mean, come on. Come on. Then we also have Zack Sabre Jr.
We saw that on ROH already, haven't we?
It was 3 luchadors, but I don't remember the combination of them.
I know Vikingo.
It might have not have been Drilistico. It might have been somebody else.
Okay.
But we're getting Zack Sabre Jr. against Action Andretti. We also are getting what else? Will Nightingale against Emi Sakura.
Now,
And
are they putting the New Japan Strong title?
yep. So and the New Japan TV titles up with Zack Sabre Jr., which I like this because Forbidden Doors coming up, so we're getting more talent coming over, working. And we also have I'm gonna butcher his name, the ROH TV champion, Shibata. I can't say his first name. He's going to defend against Lee Moriarty.
So let's go back to Willow Nightingale. That was a on the fly thing because Mercedes got hurt.
Right. Which is a bummer. It would have been fun for her to be a Forbidden Door.
So they supposedly made that title for her. And then is it a broken ankle they're talking?
I read today they think it might be a really bad sprain, but they still haven't ruled out of a possible fracture. They're waiting for swelling to go down. It was that bad.
You got a broken foot or ankle. On the fly, they make the switch. Willow Nightingale, which not saying she is not deserving of that title by any means. I think she has put the work in. She's put the effort in. I really enjoy some of her work we've seen in AEW. So don't think it's a bad. I won't say bad call. It's not a call. It just happened to work out that way where they made the audible on the fly. So, good for her.
Right.
And I think she could do a damn good job representing that title.
Yep. It's going to be a great experience for her.
So real quick on Hook, I went and looked it up. He's defended the title 9 times.
How long has he had it though?
I don't know that.
47 years.
But this is what surprised me. He's only got 30 wins.
They've been pretty. But remember, they were like really hot shot him for a while, and then they really slowed it down and were selective when he wrestled. So.
Yes.
And his first couple matches, they were just all quick, 60-second squashes.
Against QT.
So.
We then saw Toni Storm backstage. She says luck has nothing to do with her title win. She's done everything she needed to do to get to this point. Nobody's good enough to carry her bags in the locker room. Which leads us to the TBS Championship match. Chris Statlander, the 1 in 60-1 versus Nyla Rose. Paul brought up a good point in our text message earlier. Nyla always seems to get the first crack. Whether it's TBS Championship match or World Championship match, she always gets the first crack at the champions.
307 days for Hook.
307 days, okay. We saw Statlander pick up the win tonight after she connected with a jawbreaker and a 450 splash. Knew she wasn't going to lose her first match as champion, but we saw Taya Valkyrie watching backstage, and she looked mad, so I guess we're going to get a heel Taya versus Chris for Chris's first program as champion.
Well, especially if Jade's going to take some time off.
Right.
Yep.
That would be perfect. I think those two could put on a great match.
Yep.
Especially with the experience that Tyra Valkyrie has. So don't dislike this. Why do you think AEW throws Nyla out there to take that first loss?
Well, she is a former champ. Is it 2-time champ or at least once? But I think that's a reason, and I think honestly because she's got a big following with the LBGT community.
Who was the gal that came out on the ramp with her? Obviously, since Vicky Guerrero's gone,
I think that was oh my gosh, wasn't that Shafir?
Wow, Shafir's not that tall, is she?
Wasn't her?
That girl is tall.
I thought that was her.
If it is, then I'm.
Who is the wife of Roddy Strong, by the way? I thought that was her, but is Paul looking it up
I think Paul's looking up. I'm looking at his
I'm attempting to.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that, but yeah, I wasn't gonna try to look it up on Google while you were.
You go on. I'll keep.
Okay,
looking.
all right. Well, we had the main event, mixed tag team match. We had Chris Jericho and Saraya versus Adam Cole and Britt Baker. So extending the Adam Cole Britt Baker, extending the Adam Cole and Chris Jericho feud and the Saraya and Britt Baker feud that's been going on for a while now. Fun match, a little sloppy at times, little sloppy at times. But in the end, we saw Adam Cole and Britt Baker get the win. The couple hit Jericho with stereo super kicks, and then Cole delivered the boom and got the 1, 2, 3. So Jericho back-to-back losses. He's racked up quite a few losses in 2023. I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, but I feel like this.
That's what he wants to do.
It's what he wants to do. He wants to. I think his mind in professional wrestling knows. I'm Chris Jericho. I'm a big effing name. So if I'm going to go out or if I'm going to do this, take a break, come back, whatever, I'm going to do it the right way, and he's very entertaining. He's doing it the right way. I like this match. I thought it was one of the better matches on the card tonight. I could nitpick it a little bit, like you said, it was sloppy in some points, but other than that, I think they delivered. They got about 15 minutes, I think there.
At least. Mm-hmm.
We only had one commercial. Was it one commercial break? We did side by side or whatever.
Little picture in picture.
I didn't understand. I mean, this is being nitpicky. I did not understand the matching Carolina blue gear from Cole and Britt. I thought they were Pittsburgh people. I thought it would be black and gold, but we went Carolina blue.
Well, she's Pittsburgh, but I don't think Cole's originally from Pittsburgh.
Isn't he?
I thought he was a West Coast guy.
Okay, he could be.
I'll look it up. Let's see here. I thought he was a.
He's not from North Carolina, is what you're saying.
Oh, he's born in Pennsylvania, but he's billed from Panama City.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah, I don't know why I thought he was a California guy.
I thought it was odd getting Carolina blue.
Maybe throw, even though they're not there anymore, maybe a call back to the Chargers, powder blue. Even though they're LA now. But, yeah.
That's a stretch.
I don't like talking about the Chargers. So it was Marina Shafir that come to the arena.
Was it Marina Shafir? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then she's a lot taller than I thought she was.
Yeah, I was not having any luck finding it on Twitter or Google. So
yeah, Twitter.
I was still going.
Twitter helped me out there. So yeah.
I noticed apparently Britt struggles to do the Adam Cole thing because she did this during their entrance. But hey,
Close.
Close.
Do you think he's next in line to challenge MJF? Or if not, who do you guys think should be?
I think again, I want to see Cole with gold. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of those names that doesn't need it to be over. Clearly, I don't know if I'm ready to see him challenge and lose for the title.
We've seen that once.
I know. And I think if he goes this forward again, he needs to win it.
But it's just
he needs to finish the story.
It's interesting because I'm assuming MJF's next big defense will be at All In. So I'm assuming it's not going to be a Forbidden Door. He'll compete at Forbidden Door, but I doubt the title's on the line.
And he won't compete at Forbidden Door.
Oh, I bet Tony makes him compete.
He's got to.
And especially his dig at New Japan on Sunday. Now he's got to.
Man, as much as I like MJF, if they build the story correctly with Adam Cole, it'd be hard not to switch the belts. I understand it's too soon. But I mean, Adam Cole is over. People get behind him. He's the little guy that could. I'm not knocking on his size there, but he's smaller than MJF.
Right.
But he can tune up the band.
He did that, which I thought was weird. Has he done that before?
And he's in the exact same thing happened when he tried to do it before. He kind of acted like he's going to go for it, and it got deflected real quick.
Yeah, I thought that was odd tonight, but
Yep.
oh, by the way, hey, not to interrupt you guys, and we can do it at the end. We have not had our Cody segment.
Nope. It's coming here soon.
All right,
It's
all right,
coming
go
here
ahead.
soon. I haven't
After
forgotten.
Dynamite.
Well,
But-
Paul kind of brought that up when finishing the story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, you know.
Another thing about Cole and MJF is you could always take the title off MJF and still have him win it back before the end of the year. It would be different. It's something AEW's never really done, but you could always do that too.
So, you know, the bidding war of 2024, if you want to play this out, whether he is signed or not, you're going to play it out. You have him lose the belt in November at Revolution, right?
Full gear.
Full gear. I get those so.
Yeah.
I think I said that last week.
There's only 4 to pick from, Shep. Come on.
Well,
Now there's 6.
Yeah.
there you go, a lot. So going in November, you have him lose that belt, then, and then put everybody on suspense. Whether or not, I think he is signed, but
I do too.
nobody else knows. So
Yeah.
you have
Especially
him-
after the press or the media's press
The guy's
conference.
he's worth $1 million. He
And
just.
by the way, I've not got my freaking pickles yet.
Oh, you haven't? I thought they were supposed to come like 2 weeks ago.
Well, June 16th, I looked, is the it was the window. I better get them damn pickles.
That'd be good Father's Day gift. Pickles.
All right. I want to open up a bet here. Who gets their item first? Does Tanner get his hat or does Shep get his pickles first?
I better get my damn hat because the reason I said that because I ordered my I do another podcast, the TNJ Man Show, and ordered a hat, and this finally just came in the last week. So if that came in, I ordered it the same day. My KOP hat better be coming in.
Nah.
Well, I got a 30-day window that these pickles could show up. So
Yeah, I don't have no window. It just showed up.
they could literally show up tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. We can't get too many bets going on KOP. Shep and I already have a bet for all in going. So with the main event. So.
Yeah.
But
You
What do you guys-
you got to refresh me on that.
if
He's had a drink since then.
yeah, that's all right. If Punk
7, 14, 18.
if Punk FTR versus the Elite happens, then I have to buy you a wrestling shirt of your choice. Plus, I got to take 2 shots of whatever alcohol you want me to take 2 shots of. If it doesn't happen, then vice versa.
I can't wait to buy Tanner maybe a Miz shirt he's got to wear. Miz?
No, here's what I thought. Here's what I thought the bet was, and maybe I was wrong, but I thought the loser, pays for the winner's shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So say I want a Switchblade J White shirt. You would buy that shirt for me, and then I get to choose what 2 shots of alcohol I want you to take as punishment on the podcast.
Which the alcohol thing is a benefit to me. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Did you understand that, Paul? Is that how you took it?
That's how I took
All
it
right.
as well.
All
Because
right.
I said I would go in with the loser
Yeah.
half and half on the shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay.
I'm just glad that Shep didn't stick to what he said was going to happen if Sunday turned out the way Sunday turned out.
Got to refresh my memory here a little bit.
Yeah.
In reference to a specific older, now retired wrestler.
Wait a minute. Was was I that drunk last Wednesday or what?
It's been a couple Wednesdays ago.
Oh, okay.
But it was if I came in third, I had to wear the roadkill outfit.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't have a hat, so we're good because it was supposed to be this Wednesday. So haha.
I forgot about that.
I
Completely
almost
forgot.
put on my white button-up shirt just for kicks and giggles, and then things went south tonight, so that didn't happen.
well. I mean,
Maybe next Wednesday.
we can still get you that hat. I mean, you got the beard rocking, so.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys give Dynamite tonight? Rating?
I know everybody kind of harped on a little bit. I didn't think it was that bad of a show. I'm going 7.1.
I am a little higher than you, Shep. I came in at a 7.6.
I'm going 7.3. So we're all kind of in the ballpark. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing huge. I mean, the headline's got to be the announcement of Punk no matter what. So
Yeah, it didn't matter what else happened tonight. That
No.
was the takeaway from tonight's Dynamite.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get any early builds for Forbidden Door. But
well,
there's some seeds, but
There's some seeds.
Last
which is
year-
perfectly fine.
if you guys remember last year, this was the show that Punk broke his foot by jumping in stands. But there was the build for him and Tanahashi right away, and which never came to fruition, unfortunately. But yeah,
Yet.
Wrestler of the Night. Paul, lead us off.
I'm going to do it. I've been talking about she was going to do it when she came back for months. Chris Statlander.
It's fair. Good one.
Good one. I'm going with, and you guys, I'm going with Pockets.
I
He's
figured you would.
your go-to guy anymore.
And I used to just harp on him. But,
That's the best part of this.
yeah, the way they portrayed that match with the bigger guys just dominating the first 5 to 8 minutes, and you're really thinking, man, there's no way that Darby and Pockets can come back, and they do. And Darby I almost picked Darby because the way he threw his body around, which we've talked 100 times on this podcast, he throws his body around just like he doesn't care if he wants to walk by the time he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
But I thought Orange was just equally as good, if not a little bit better. Yeah, so I'm going with taped up Pockets.
Taped up Pockets.
He's had a lot of tape on his back and shoulders of late.
I thought there was a lot of people you could pick from tonight. Wheeler Yuta could have been a candidate. Big Bill.
Now was Wheeler
been candidate?
Yuta the candidate just because Brian was just putting him over on commentary,
And he picked up the win for his team.
which you knew was going to happen?
Yeah. Which, I mean, they're really, like I said, trying to push him. I mean, not only everything we've already talked about, but AEW's got a line of their wrestling figures, a blood and guts line. And he's the next in line for that, which, I mean, if you're getting that figure, you're in for a pretty good push, I feel like. I'm going Swerve Strickland, though. The guy Orange is going to face next week. Picked up the win triple threat, and I think he takes that international title off Orange next week.
You think they're going to do a title change of that belt
Yep.
on a free show?
Yep. That's how he did the first time.
It's pretty aggressive.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt Orange. I mean, Swerve's a pretty good talent. And
No, it wouldn't hurt Orange because Orange has had a run the last
oh my gosh,
What?
he's defended that title.
6 months.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I think he won it in November. I think so. Yeah.
So, in case the listeners don't know, Tanner and I are in a AEW fantasy league. Shout out to AEW Matrix for that one. He's been handling this. He's getting it quicker and quicker each and every week.
He does an incredible job.
As of the end of Dynamite tonight, Tanner, you are still at 22nd. I am at 19th.
I don't know why. I got clear up to third at one point. I don't know. And I fell to the 20s, and I cannot get out of the 20s. I don't know. And I even made some acquisitions.
Yeah. Gee, look, I should have kept the one person I had, and then I'd be climbing the rankings very quickly. But hey, I didn't know when she was coming back, so
Right.
maybe on my next round, I'll be switching that out.
Well, it'll be interesting with the addition of Collision coming up, and of course, Dark and Elevation aren't a thing anymore, so those don't go into the rankings like they or the fantasy points like they used to. So,
no, he does have some unaired matches, setups in there.
Because there still are dark matches at these shows.
They're just straight actual dark matches, not for the show dark.
But also live events. There's 2 live events going on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, down in Mississippi and then Alabama, I believe. So
anything can happen, Tanner.
Yep. So
as long as I'm ahead of you, I don't care.
As long as I got the KOP predictions title, I don't care.
Hey, look, I'm ahead of you in our fantasy
Tanner,
league.
where's the title at? Where's it?
Well, it's not in my house, so it might be in the lake. I don't know.
I heard it fell into water today.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to jump in and save it. I can't swim, so.
Yeah, that thing weighs just enough that it's going to sink to the bottom pretty quickly.
Throw it in like Stone Cold threw Angle's medal into the. I don't remember what river that was, but body of water.
Wasn't it Rock throwing?
They both did. Rock threw the. Yeah.
Was it still? It was an Intercontinental belt back then, wasn't it?
I thought it was Steve Smoking Skull belt. He threw.
Was it? Okay. I thought
so many things have
threw
been thrown
the Intercontinental belt in the river,
including Edge. Remember when Cena threw him in the Boston Harbor?
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Speaking of the WWE, it's time for our weekly. So, what do you want to talk about segment where we talk about the guy in the picture behind me, Mr. Cody Rhodes? Another good promo from the Codester on Monday night, extending his feud with Brock Lesnar. He took a loss at the hands of Brock Lesnar over in Saudi Arabia at the Night of Champions, but Cody didn't tap even with a broken wing, as Shep said last week on the pod. He passed out.
Yep.
So it's 1-1. Rubber match is going to happen. Where's it going to happen? We're not sure, because that's one thing Cody said. He listed all the dates. He said, he listed a few of them. He said, I'll be posting them, which he did today. So he told Brock he's ready to fight whenever, wherever. So good promo like always.
Yeah, except there's one problem. It's hard to keep up when Cody's constantly doing this.
I know.
You got to bounce between all 75 cameras.
I know. But the dude is over no matter where he goes. His song by Downstate, Fort Wayne's own Downstate, is over. It's crazy how much that song has hit in WWE compared to AEW.
Yeah, they sing it in WWE.
So, I mean, we're building this feud till SummerSlam, is what I'm guessing, right?
It's either you do it at Money in the Bank or you're doing it at SummerSlam. I don't know which one.
Well, and they talked about him winning Money in the Bank, but they already started having qualifying matches, and he's not even in the picture right now.
Right.
So.
Amazing with the BT shout out of Adrenaline in My Soul, something Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
That was a classic.
That's how that goes.
Classic clip. Maybe if he gets in the Money Bank match, Brock shows up and costs him that. That sets up their SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If they don't do Cody and Reigns at SummerSlam, then that's probably going to be your WrestleMania 40 match. Cody and Reigns.
So you think we can?
You got to get through a lot of other stuff. But
you think we can continue or sustain this pop that Cody's on, and I think everybody loves him. Everybody's behind him, so he gets the pops. You think we could do that for the next 7 months, 8 months, right? Till WrestleMania 40?
My one main concern, if you hold it out that long, would be, doesn't it get pretty predictable at that point? that Cody's got. But we all thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania 39, and it didn't. But doesn't it even get more predictable if he gets the rematch at WrestleMania 40?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
But it's about creating moments.
yeah, but with the bloodline crumbling storyline that's going
Already.
on right now, I want to see more now than I did previously. Roman versus The Rock. I want to see Roman go on this crazy downward spiral because everybody's turning against him. He can't do this, he can't do that, yada yada yada. Then The Rock comes in and Roman's yelling and screaming at everybody thinking he is the best, and then The Rock steps in to kind of smack him around and say, remember, there's other people in this bloodline that are better than you.
So what about this? What if we get The Rock takes the belt off of Roman SummerSlam, and then we elevate it even more? Cody doesn't beat Roman because that's below him. Cody beats The Rock at the next WrestleMania.
But The Rock's never going to be around from SummerSlam to WrestleMania.
That's the problem.
You do have the secondary title now, though. Seth's title.
You do, but you could.
He's the first ever world heavyweight champion.
You could string it out. We got SummerSlam. Rock takes the belt. He shows up at Survivor Series. He shows up at Royal Rumble because we're going back to old school pay-per-views before we had the monthly.
The B shows.
Yeah. So Rock could make 3 or 4 appearances leading up to WrestleMania, and then what a story. Cody takes it off The Rock. That's even bigger than Roman Reigns. I'm telling you right now, it's even bigger than Roman Reigns.
But would the movie companies let Rock wrestle that much?
Well, that's
yeah,
4 times in a year.
Yeah, but the dude hadn't wrestled 4 times in the last decade.
Well, yeah, but he pumps a lot of iron.
I know.
Eats a ton of shitty sushi and drinks a bunch of half-assed tequila.
Yeah.
So,
and here's the thing: it would do WWE good if that was the case, because The Rock's everywhere. So those titles would then go everywhere.
Is there a bigger movie star than The Rock right now?
No.
Exactly, and it would put some good light on WWE for a change instead of all the negativity that we've been seeing here lately.
Even though I'm a big Rock fan, I will argue that Dave Bautista's the better actor. I think Dave's really coming on as an actor. He challenges himself from a role perspective more than Dwayne does.
He does. He gets into the character a little more.
Dwayne plays a lot of the similar characters.
Yes. Whereas Batista,
Dave's kind of all over the place.
Went from being Drax to some serial killer cult leader.
That was a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
And he's also in Doom.
Yep.
So, yep. Majin's agreeing with me. Batista is the best wrestler turned actor.
Yeah.
Dwayne plays himself all the time.
Especially in that show that he's got, Little Rock.
Obviously,
Young Rock.
Obviously, they didn't watch China and Tammy Lynn Sitch or whatever, Sonny. they were actresses.
KOP's going dark side of the ring here.
Woo.
We're going to hit the explicit rating tonight. So.
Great episode of Dark Side of the Ring last night.
I have not watched it yet. No, me neither.
But
I've heard it's good, though.
Yes.
Very good.
When we are talking about Dwayne, remember he did play a fairy once upon a time.
He did.
Yeah, but what was that movie Triple H was in that the WWE produced? Like that
Blade?
No, Triple H.
Are We There? Not Are We There?
No,
yet.
it was like a school movie. It was like a principal or something, like a counselor. That was awful.
A teacher.
Yeah, that
or something. I don't know.
I didn't see that one.
And remember the Miz was the Marine.
sure
Miz
he was.
and John Cena were both in the Marines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those weren't bad movies. They just weren't good movies.
The Chaperone. That's what I was thinking.
Thank you.
The
I was thinking.
Chaperone.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yes. Apparently, he was in Inside Out too.
And I got to put this one up from Agent 2. I'll let that comment speak for itself. We're taking a turn on the KOP tonight.
What about the people who aren't watching this on YouTube, Tanner? How are they going to know what that comment said?
All right, I'll read it. I really don't care. He said, I mean, China was good, but she ain't no Angela White. There you go. For all the audio listeners out there. Do not Google who Angela White is unless you're for yourself.
I mean,
teach your own. Teach your own.
She has her own Wikipedia page, I'm sure.
That's true.
And let's, while we're going there, don't forget Cody's got a sister who's an actress as well.
Oh my God.
No, that was brought up on I think the Full Sin podcast.
Yeah.
That was on Logan Paul's podcast.
No, not Full Sin, Logan Paul's, which
yeah.
makes me even more pissed. But
same last name, no relation, but
yeah.
No, the Full Sin podcast guys are good. I like those guys. Logan Paul is
he's Logan Paul.
Yeah, even though he's an athletic performer, not a fan. Whatever.
No. But good stuff from Cody. And shit for Cody Brock 3. I like watching Brock Lesnar matches. I know he's a part-timer or whatever, but dude's intense, and his matches are always unpredictable. They're always exciting. They always have the edge of your seat. At least they do for me. So.
And I will say I've never been a huge Brock Lesnar guy. I've gone on the record saying that. But as his health's gotten better, he's gotten better again in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he first came back to wrestling, it was just Suplex City, F5, punch. That was it.
Right.
That's all he did. Now we're seeing more and more from him.
Well, I think people forget Brock is he's not a young buck. I mean, he is.
No, I know he's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, with the shape he's in and everything,
he's got to be close to 50, doesn't he?
45. He'll be 46 on July 12th. So
mark it on your calendar and remember to wish Brock a happy birthday, or he'll come kick your ass.
He unchecked. He lives out in the. He has 2 houses, one in Canada, one in Minnesota. Dakota's out in the boondocks where he doesn't even get cell reception. So
on that ranch.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts or any other rabbit holes you guys want to go down the world of professional wrestling, AEW related or not, tonight?
I don't have any. I'll think of something probably after we get off the air, but.
Well, I do have one. I have one more question, I guess.
Lord.
It's double or nothing. It's a fill in the blank. In your guys' opinion, blank came out of Double or Nothing as a bigger star than they went into Double or Nothing as.
Ooh, man, that's rough. You could add a couple different names to that.
Ooh, yeah. A bigger star.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he was involved in the main event, Takeshita.
Yeah. That's by far one of the bigger ones. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's just a lot you could say. But, yeah, I'm going to stick with
you could say Yuta for the main event. I mean, pinning Kenny Omega is a big deal.
Yeah.
But you could say Statlander because you knocked off Jade and won a title. But who I'm going to go with and losing out I thought Sammy Guevara. I thought Sammy was really good in that 4 Pillars match. And congratulations to him and Tay also for they're pregnant and having a baby. They announced it to the world. Interesting way to do it.
She wrestled pregnant once.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So
makes sense why they may not have wanted to go defend those mixed tag titles now.
But I thought he was really good. And I like the spot where they all hit their mentors finish. That was pretty cool.
Yes, that was
That
good.
was
That was a
pretty
good
cool.
spot.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, no,
They,
there's a few.
they made a comment of MJF hitting the crossroads.
And they said Cody Rhodes. I mean, they don't shy away from that.
I love that.
So, which makes me think there's still a good relationship with him and Tony. I mean, I still think there's more to the story than we'll probably ever know. But
I think it comes down to money. I really do. And not that Tony doesn't have the funds. I don't think he could offer what when it comes down to money.
I do know from Zach Call, who's the lead singer of Downstate, from his interview with Chris Van Vliet, he did say there was a point they were ready to walk away, because with the whole discussions when Cody was having with WWE, they were ready to walk away from the table with Kingdom because that's their song. They wanted to get some kickback from it, like
I don't blame them.
like Living Color does when Cult of Personalities played and some of these other bigger bands. So they wanted a kickback. And on the call, it kind of got silent he said for about 10 seconds, which he said felt like the longest 10 seconds of his life. And Cody finally spoke up and he said, if Kingdom's not coming with me, I'm not coming. And he said that was like a huge moment for them because he said then that meant Cody was in their corner no matter what. Because he had told them that wherever he went, he wanted Kingdom to go. But until he actually said that kind of solidified it to them. And that just, kind of solidified that the American Nightmare was coming to the WWE. And they weren't going to mess with anything that he had created since he left in 2016. So kind of cool backstory there.
Yeah.
We got a few more comments here. Major said he also mentioned Darby. Although he got pinned, he's probably going to be the next challenger. MJF did bring Darby up tonight in that promo he did. Mm-hmm. Or that was taped over the weekend, I think. And Cody also said he wanted to win the world title too, but Cody did that to himself. Yes, we could have a podcast within its own where Cody went wrong in the AEW, especially in the year of 2021.
I'm still saying heel Cody. That's how you do it. You have him come out, when he's done in WWE. If he decides to go back to AEW, he comes out as the American Nightmare. Everybody's singing along with him. They're having a good time. And he starts out all happy-go-lucky Cody, and then he turns it to, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I made a stipulation when I was here the last time, and I normally don't go against my word, but this time I am. I'm challenging for the title. Boom. Solidified him as a heel.
And I really think in 2022 we were going to get heel Cody, which in his words, he says he viewed himself as a heel because he's doing, by not turning heel, he was doing what the fans, the opposite of what the fans wanted him to do. But
because he tried it once.
Yeah.
So Cody comes out one night with black hair instead of that blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the turn.
Yep.
Yeah. And he tried that when he came back the one time, but none of the fans picked up on it, so he went right back to the blonde.
And that was with the Brody Lead feud, which that was Daly's place there too. That didn't help either. So
I think if he tried it again, it'd go over now.
And I know I was talking to you guys. He felt like a big deal in 2019 AW, even in 2020 because he had the feuds with MJF, Lance Archer for the TNT title, Brody Lee, and then Darby. And then 2021, he just kind of got off the rails. I mean, we saw him in programs for the brass ring. Then Anthony Ogogo, that didn't hit. And then the last time we saw him on pay-per-view was at Full Gear. He was in a 8-man tag match.
Yeah.
With Malachi, Andrade, some other guys. So he just was kind of all over the place. I'm sure he was 3-time TNT champ, but I understand why he went to WWE, probably for a bigger payday. And look what, in the main event picture, I mean, look where they have him. So, and Major says Homelander Cody wrestled and talked as a heel, but tried to be a face. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, anything else before we wrap up tonight's pod?
No, I'm good.
All I got is Tanner. If you want to get some scuba diving gear, the belt's over there in the channel.
I'll bring my snorkel on Friday.
About 12 feet deep.
I'll bring my snorkel on Friday.
All right. Well, with that, Be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out Podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcast, leave us that 5-star review because
Uncle
we
Dave
are.
says 5.
Yes, we are 5-star KOP. You can leave us 6 or 7 stars if you really want to, but
If you
Apple
can.
only count 5. So, leave us 10. We don't care. Leave as many stars as you want, but at least 5. It helps us out and make sure that you continue to get the Kicking Out podcast every week when it comes out. Don't forget to check out kickingoutshop.com. It is your place to go for all of your KOP merchandise. Support a great podcast and look great doing so. And don't forget to follow Austin Shepard at TheShep27. Follow the KOP Predictions champion, Tanner Lee, at with that, for Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.